Hey guys, Major Kate here, and it's good to be back at the foundation. For those of you who are new to the channel, the main series on here is breaking down tactics and strategies from real war and applying them to gameplay to help you guys better operate in the AO. But with the Black Ops Cold War beta, the channel kind of derailed for a little while as I was trying to get you guys as much information as soon as possible. Also, rolling out the DMR series didn't help, but it's nice to go back to basics and putting the reason why I started this channel back at the forefront. So far, we have 11 episodes of tactics and strategies, so that might be something you want to check out before you watch this one. I'll have the link to the playlist in the top right hand screen. Also, before we start, we are very close to our first goal for this channel, which is that of 100 subscribers. So do me a favor and hit the subscribe button as we round up to another year of Call of Duty in just a short few days. And I have a ton of amazing content coming very soon. But other than that, let's debrief. Recon by fire is something that I came up with while reading how military personnel used to force insurgents out of hiding in Iraq and Afghanistan during operations. And even though some of those tactics will be coming to the channel in the near future, I want to first show you guys how to use this one so we can build from here later. No pain, no gain. For this tactic, high alert on your loadout is something that I highly recommend. And I know what you're saying, instead of ghosts, super taboo. But hear me out. High alert can offer some serious advantages, except in solos, where ghost is a must. But when it comes to team-based warzone matches, high alert starts to make a really compelling argument. Because for me, after the first loadout drops, the incentive to use a heartbeat sensor or a UAV has serious decline, since most people will have ghost or overkill. And by the time the second circle finishes up, a team usually has enough money to buy a second loadout and get ghost if they haven't already. High alert will let you know where you're being spotted from. And if the rest of your team is using ghost, your position will be given away. But you can turn this around, because to the enemy team, it will appear as there's only one person, not knowing that the whole team could be waiting at said location. So high alert is something to keep in mind. Recon by blood is a defensive and reconnaissance maneuver. It works best for enemy snipers, but it works for any situation where you're getting shot and you don't know where the enemy is. Recon by blood works off shouldering, and you must treat it like shouldering. For those of you who don't know, shouldering is a move that is heavily used on the competition and ranked side of Call of Duty, but in public matches is abused by bobbies with MP5s, usually before they jump shot you. Shouldering is when you only show your shoulder around a corner to gain info on a player without getting beamed. This changes from Call of Duty to Call of Duty, as different development studios use different fixed camera angles. But since we know that Warzone will keep running on the same engine as Modern Warfare, that means that this tactic is future-proof. Well, at least for another year. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. Recon by blood is a way of shouldering in Warzone. It is a high-skill, high-reward, high-risk tactic. Where the enemy shoots at you from an unknown location, you are going to immediately get off the X. Like we talked about in episode 1, standing still will put you on the enemy's X, meaning you're in the position where they have the advantage. If you want to learn more, the link will be in the top right hand screen as well as down in the description below. I apologize in advance for the video quality, as that was the first video on the channel. So after you get off the X, you stop the inevitable future of getting absolutely destroyed by the enemy. Remember, when you get shot from an unknown location, the worst thing you can do is stop and try to engage. When you get hit, the enemy is technically miles ahead of you in the race that is to secure the kill. They already have their sights on you, they already know your position, and pretty much are ready to pull the trigger and send you to the gulag. So the best thing is to get off the X and reposition. From here, you open up your options. Matter of fact, 2 options to be exact. Either engage or move on. But if you do want to engage, that's where Recon by blood comes into play. You get hit, you reposition. Then you use the variation of shouldering, where you willingly expose yourself, risking the chance of getting hit, which you most likely will, just to find out where the enemy location is, and then get off the X again and re-engage. The breakdown goes sort of like this. Get hit, get off the X, and play it up if needed. Willingly expose yourself, possibly get hit again. Get off the X a second time, then re-engage. By the second time that you reposition, you already have accomplished multiple things. Number 1, you will have reconcealed your location. Number 2, you will know the enemy's position. Number 3, you will give the enemy a false sense of security because the enemy thinks that you have no idea where they are. But in reality, they are now on your X, as you know their position and they don't know yours. In that illusion, that's where you attack. One of my favorite parts about this tactic is that when you expose yourself to the enemy, they take it at face value. They think that they have you on the back pedal, especially if they get a second shot off. But that leads me to the risk of this tactic. This tactic has an extremely high risk, especially when you're talking about enemy snipers, as they have that one-shot headshot potential, meaning that that shouldering might just be your last. But that's where high alert comes in. You'll have a general area where you're getting shot from, i.e. left, right, or behind you. And then when you're going for that recon, you'll have a clear path on where to go to avoid that express pass to the lobby. But let's get into some case studies and see how this works in real time. So this is not the best example, but it's a perfect example on what to do and take you through the paces. So I'm just minding my business, about to pick out a contract, and then I get hit. Instead of stopping and trying to pinpoint where the enemy are, I'm going to reposition and then expose myself. They didn't take the bait because they got company, but instead of me making a V line towards them, I'm going to cut hard right and close that gap. And once they're done with their unwanted guests, I'm going to arrive fashionably late. This is a perfect example of quite the opposite. I'm trying to sort this guy out right now, but I'm using an unsuppressed weapon. It attracts the attention of an enemy player on the north side of the map. First things first, let's get this low res sim out of here. The gas is going to push me towards the enemy, and even though I have a general idea of where he is, I don't know his exact position. I'm going to expose myself, take a few hits, and then get off the X. By this point, I already know I have nothing to hit him with, but I also know the best way to engage. And at this point, he's a sitting duck up there. Now, he's on my X. And this is the last one I have for you boys today. We have to get to the safe zone, as the circle is already moving, and my high alert goes off. Notice how high alert gets you the general direction, but not the exact location. So I'm going to do a recon by blood, expose myself again, and reposition. And now, let's go to town with this SKS. Now, I have to follow the arrow with the sword and close that gap, the exact same way that you have to click the link in the top right hand screen to know what follow the arrow with the sword means. And just when they think they're safe, well, stick a fork in them because they're done. Sadly, there is no reversal because unlike some of the tactics that we talked about here on the channel, this is one that is completely optional. Call of Duty players need to get it through the thick heads that engaging is not the only answer, especially due to the fact that in every single one of the case studies, I could have chosen to just move on. But just like all those Call of Duty players I just talked about, I'm way too petty to let it go. If you enjoyed this episode of Tactics and Strategies, hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on to get notified when my videos go live. If you have any questions, hit me up on Twitch, link in the description below. A like rating is always appreciated. Also, check out my other Tactics and Strategies to catch up before the new episode goes live in the near future. Well, That's all for me today. I'm Major Cade, and I thank you for watching.